Well, Rúben Diaz wants out of City. The departure of Pep Guardiola is gonna see Man City go to its knees. I've said this on several occasions, and indeed, it's what's happening right about now. And it's not only him, other players that are really senior at Man City feel like it's high time to say bye bye. And this is the hugest, I tell you, this is the hugest test for Enzo Maresca. Smash like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. De Zerbi is trying to strengthen his squad, and there is another player that he has gonna hate, obviously convinced to join Spurs, and that is Senesi. You're obviously gonna be knowing the details of the deal. And then Bernardo Silva, another one whose contract has elapsed at Man City, free agent, and is looking out for where he wants to be playing next. Smash the like button close to 200 times and subscribe, because for here you'll get all stories from all other clubs apart from one, Manchester United. If you want to see content of Man United, there is an independent channel that goes by the names of United Matters channel. Go that side, you'll enjoy it to the fullest and you won't regret going there, because here we don't do anything concerning Manchester United. So please, just do the needful and go that side. You'll enjoy yourself in there for you. Now, this is goal. They've gone ahead to let us know that Manchester City defender Rúben Diaz has reportedly asked his agent to explore a summer move away from Etihad following the departure of Pep Guardiola. Now, these senior players cannot stay at City, you know, that is it. They cannot, because they feel like the glue that was keeping them here has gone ahead to leave, you know. And for the time he has been here, Rúben Diaz, he has been one of the best defenders in the Premier League and the world at large. Rúben Diaz has been at Man City for 6 solid seasons in there for you. And Rúben Diaz came in through from Benfica for £65 million in there for you. And obviously the deal included a further £13.6 million player exchange for Nicolas Otamendi, meaning that the deal was worth almost 70 million pounds for Rúben Diaz to cross from Benfica to the side known as Manchester City. Now, he joined on the September of 29th, 2020, right? And obviously, he really went in for Pep Guardiola's side. And for that deal, I remember that they wanted to obviously go in for Harry Maguire, but the previous season of 2019, Leicester called in for £80 million. United fell a victim. And City were like, we are not spending that. We are not spending that. And they ended up putting out a very huge ask for Rúben Diaz. And of the two, Diaz has turned out to be a much more better defender than Harry Maguire. Captaining City, winning lots of trophies. And I tell you what, it's really great. And he had just extended his contract to 2029. That is Rúben Diaz. So he's a player that has been at City, and he wanted to obviously still be at City, but because of the uncertainty in there for him at City, obviously he has chosen to look elsewhere. Now, since arriving at Etihad, the Portuguese centre-back has been a defensive pillar, you know, for Pep Guardiola's side in there, and for the debut season, he helped them win a Premier League 2020, 2021, and the Carabao Cup, you know. And he was the Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year Award, Premier League Player of the Year awards. He has obviously going to take them. He was also pivotal for the squad to secure a historic continental treble in 2022-2023 season. You remember that very well? Yes. So it was really very important for him. So he has been at City and he has literally won every trophy that a player can win at the club level. And I think it's like, Pep has left, he has been the magic, I'm leaving the club. You understand? That is Rúben Diaz for you, and he wants out of City. Now, for The City supporters all over the world, especially Hero from LA, I feel for you because this is the most lovely player that you really die for at Man City. You love him. Even the jerseys of City that you don are for Rúben Dias. You know that very well, not so? So he's leaving and he's really raising his hand to leave. And I think he thinks that he has done what he needs to do and he needs to live a new chapter. So he needs to close the chapter at City and obviously open a new chapter elsewhere. To leave the likes of Kusanov, Josko Vadio, though I've also heard that City are really selling Josko Vadio. Nathan Ake, he's also being linked to Everton. And I don't know which defender City is obviously going to be left with. John Stones, the injury prone, you know, because if at all you have Kusanov and Mark Gehi, those two can obviously form a very good partnership. But if at all they are injured, who else are you obviously going to be bringing in? So that means City is going to be very active into the summer transfer window. That is it. So we might see other players leave City because Rodri is also one of those that is of interest at Madrid. And he also wants to go and play for Real Madrid. He feels like he wants to go ahead and really play for Spain, play in Spain. So City might see close to 5-6 players leave, and that will leave a lot of patches into what Enzo Maresca is trying to build. But one thing I know about City, their recruitment system is really top notch, and it won't really affect him in the replacements, especially with what he has been left with Mikel Arteta, with Pep. And I think he knows the situation that some players have told Pep, if it's coming in through, we are also leaving. You get? So if that's the case, I tell you, it's really gonna affect City a little bit because this guy is a captain, is a leader, and you're losing one of the best defenders in the world who is world class. I'm talking about Rúben Dias at Man City. So wait and see how that pans out. But Rúben Dias has ordered his agent to really move him out of a team known as Manchester City. And I don't know exactly how that will really affect City, but that means they have to go to the market and obviously bring in like 2 or 3 defenders. As I've told you, I've seen signals of Josko Vadio also wanting to leave Man City. Leaving City at that, there is a player known as Senesi who was playing for a club known as Bournemouth. He has now reached a verbal agreement to sign for Spurs on a free transfer. The defender will leave Bournemouth at the end of the season, and despite interest from elsewhere, Spurs are now expected to land one of Roberto De Zerbi's first signings of the summer. Senesi, Premier League proven player, good defender, and I think he is one of those that has the qualities that Roberto De Zerbi really loves. I love the player, and I tell you, he is one of those that you have to be having in your team if you want to push things to go the right way. And he has there and then raised up his hand. He has been of interest: Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Chelsea, and very many others. But he has chosen Spurs because at Spurs, he looks like he's going to be one of those defenders that they will see get into the starting 11, because 2 of the centre-back pairing that has been Spurs for a very long time, that is Cristiano Romero and Mickey van der Ven, they want to leave. Mickey van der Ven is linked to clubs like Man United and very many others. QT Romero wants to go and play at Atletico Madrid. So they might lose those defenders, and so they are working really hard to obviously strengthen their centre-back. And getting Senesi on a free, if I tell you what De Zerbi, that means you're saving on your huge budget that would have gone to spend to obviously sign in a defender to really fit the levels of QT and Van der Ven. And with them having good contracts with Spurs, that means they'll obviously get in some huge money. And for QT, they might register like 70-80 million pounds. For Mickey van der Ven, it might be 60-70 million pounds, if at all any club raises up their hand to obviously get in. But he needs to work hard to strengthen the team and see to it that they compete at all fronts, as they're not going to be playing in Europe. Surviving relegation makes them play in only 3 competitions: the Premier League, the FA Cup, and Carabao Cup. And for the Roberto De Zerbi I saw at Brighton do magic, I think he can do a lot with a club known as Tottenham Hotspur. So wait and see how that happens. But most importantly, he will bring back that tiki-taka that Postecoglou had brought back at Spurs. And you know, De Zerbi has that style. Tiki-taka style is what he does. And we just wait for an official announcement that Senesi is obviously going to be playing that. But Matteo Moretto, Credba journalist, Tier 1 journalist, has told us that that agreement has been reached between Spurs and Marco Senesi. Now, Jacobs Ben is another one who has gone ahead to obviously bring us a story of Bernardo Silva. He's like, Bernardo Silva is weighing up several options in both Europe and MLS. Barcelona have held some positive talks, while Atletico Madrid and Juventus made approaches. A return to Benfica this summer won't happen, and Saudi is currently unlikely despite interest. Bernardo looks like he wants to keep at the top football level, at top European football club football level. That is it. And Barcelona is pushing to get him in, Juventus and everything there. Barcelona is really trying to make a very big summer transfer window because Anthony Gordon is done for like 80 million euros or 90. Then they're going in for Julian Alvarez. Now, if Bernardo is moved to Barcelona, I tell you, they would have gone ahead, obviously, getting 3 players who will obviously revolutionize their attack in the coming times. At City, we've seen him even playing the double pivot. He has been played as a number 10. He has been played as a left forward, right forward, sometimes a false 9. And Hans Flink will be heading to a very tough time on where he'll obviously play him. Now, shockingly, we are having a story about Bernardo Silva coming in through from Yagiz Sibukonchlu, you know, telling us that Bernardo Silva has spoken with Atletico Madrid, right? Again yesterday. He's close to reaching an agreement with them. And I'm like, if I'm Bernardo, I support Barcelona. I've always done play for Barcelona. I go to Barcelona because their style of play will obviously help him show us what is left in his tank. At Atletico Madrid, there is a lot of running. You know, I don't know what Diego Simeone will tell this guy. But indeed, I don't see that he's that kind of player. I know he has a work rate and he does a lot of running, interceptions, and so on and so forth. But if I'm him, I go to Barcelona. I go to Barcelona because his style of football will obviously suit well in Barcelona, and he will get well into that midfield, you know, of Barcelona. That is it. Imagine him playing with the likes of Casado, Gavi, Pedri, and very many more into that midfield. It will be really great. So City is losing more players. I've told you close to 5 players are going to be leaving City. And I don't know what City will do in there, but it's not really good news for them. But we wait and see how things really pan out. Rokani David is my name. This is, I think, the first upload of the day. Remember, we started up the day with the live stream of Ousmane Dembele, and we are yet back with Rúben Dias wanting out of City. You know, get me out of here, please. He's talking to his agent who goes by names of, is it George Mendes in there, super agent, to find him another club where he should be playing. So we don't know whether he's obviously going to be offering him to, but I know this guy, George Mendes with Jose Mourinho, his client going to Real Madrid, he will offer this guy to Real Madrid. The price that he will cost, I cannot speculate. But all I know, the lad will leave and go. That is it. I'm out. See you later. After an hour from now, another video is loading.